We are back with another book haul, and this time it wasn't planned. It was a surprise on my birthday. So my partner took me to a bookstore, that is Blossom's Book House, and I got to shop to my heart's content. Though I've already done a lot of book hauls this year, I've got a lot of books that I'm yet to read. So I did not want to buy too much and add on to my TBR pile. And as you can see, this shelf is full right now, and I need a new shelf. I don't think I'll be buying a new shelf at this point though. So yeah, so I got a couple of books that I'd really love to show you. These are an interesting collection of books. I'm yet to read these, of course, but when I went through the synopsis of these books, it just kind of like it really caught my attention, and I want to share that with you today. Hi everyone, I'm Archana and welcome to my channel Read with Archie. So if you are into books, or if you are looking to read a book, or if you're already an avid reader like me, do consider subscribing to my channel. I'll take you on like book recommendations, book reviews, and even like book tours with me. Okay, so the first book that I got today is I Who Have Never Known Men. Of course, I got this like more than a month ago when it was my birthday, but I'm posting a video only now. So yeah, I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. This is the first book that I got, and in this book there are about 39 women who are underground. They have little to no recollection of how they got there or of their past, and they do not know why they are being kept there. Okay, and all of a sudden there is this 40th woman who comes in, and they have actually never seen men. I think that's what this title also says. I'm yet to read that. And this 40th woman who comes in is actually a girl, and she actually changes a lot of things, and they may have a chance to escape to the city above. But the city above, they do not know what sort of life awaits them, and this is what the book is about from the synopsis that I read. I can't wait to read this. It's kind of like, it just got my attention the minute I read this. The title itself is pretty intriguing, right? I Who Have Never Known Men. Okay, so this is the first book. Now let's move on to the second book that I got. The second book is called Lula Dean's Little Library of Banned Books. This is by Kirsten Miller. So this is the book here. So in Troy in Georgia, there is a local woman called Lula Dean, and Lula Dean is actually opposed to a lot of these un-American books, and she wants to keep banned books away from her personal library that she uses to lend to other people. Okay, and Lula Dean has quickly cleansed her library of all such books, but somehow these books are actually kind of trying to find a way into her library. Okay, and Lula Dean is unaware of that. So there are a lot of people who do come and secretly put in those banned books, and there are readers who pick those banned books out. And what happens to these readers? They actually get to have a new perspective, a new view into a new world. So there is like black history, gay romances, and literary fiction, and such are the books that are being kept as a part of this list. And any person who reads such books, they find that their view of the world has changed. So how do these actually challenge their perspectives? And once you challenge someone's perspectives, once they actually see the light of the day, you know that the showdown is incoming, right? So that is what this is about. So I can't wait to read this book too. It's a triumphant revenge fantasy, that's what they say. And yeah, this is the second book that I got. Now let's move on to the third book. The third book that I got is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. So I got this actually as a part of Black History Month. There were a couple of books that were recommended as a part of Black History Month, and I really wanted to check out some because I actually haven't read any book that could, pertain to, the blacks or the Black History Month. So I wanted to know a little more about it. So this story is about two twins. Stella and Desiree. That's their names. And the twins are identical, and once when they're 16 years old, they try to run away from their house. So they are actually trying to run away from their identities and their past too. So these identical twins are right now in different paths. So one person is still trying to establish herself in the small town that she once tried to escape, and the other twin is somewhere far away and she's trying to pass off as white. Okay, and now this person who's in the small town, she's trying to raise her daughter there, and these people are just trying to constantly outrun their past. But how long will they be able to actually outrun their past? Because one day they will have their daughters who will have a story of their own to tell. So that is what this story is about. So it seems it was shortlisted for a women's prize as well. So that got me intrigued, and I really want to read this book as well. I'll let you know how it goes once I read it. So yes, this is the third book that I got. The fourth one is a horror thriller. You know how I'm obsessed with thrillers, right? So this is one. It's called Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. This is the book. So in this book, there is a woman called Mallory. So she comes out of rehab, and it's been like 1.5 years since she's been sober, and she has now taken up the job of a nanny to a sweet little boy called Teddy. Okay, and now Teddy is very fond of drawing, so every now and then you can see him drawing like trees, birds, sun, mountains, etc., just like what any other kid would do. And then as and when, like, so Mallory used to be like, she really starts liking this boy as well. So here's where it gets interesting. So one day the boy draws an image of a man dragging a dead body of a woman across the forest. And what's more, he continues making such artworks, and for a 5-year-old he's actually being pretty good at it, and each of these artworks that he's making has a very dark meaning. So Mallory wants to help Teddy because she's actually shocked by these images that he's drawing, and these images are becoming more and more realistic for a 5-year-old to be drawing. So what Mallory is going to do to help this little boy Teddy is what the story is about, and she suspects that there is a supernatural force behind all these drawings. And because this is a horror thriller, I'm really like, as in when I'm telling you the synopsis itself, I find it very unnerving actually, as I'm shooting this alone right now. So yeah, this is the fourth book that I got from Blossom's Book House, and I can't wait to read this as well. So now let's move on to the last two books that I got from Blossom's Book House. This one is a Kannada translation. It's called Gacher Gocher. So this was written by Vivek Shanbhag. This was originally written in Kannada by Vivek Shanbhag. It was translated by Srinath Perur. So this is about a sensitive young man who lives in the dumps. Okay, he is in a very in a destitute family, and it's an ant infested shack that he is living in. And overnight his entire world is overturned when fortune smiles on him. So his uncle sets up a spice factory which wins them a lot of money, earns them a lot of money, and all of a sudden they find that their lifestyle now is in contrast to what they have lived all their lives. Okay, and with a sudden change in their environment, with a sudden change in their financial position, they also move to the better part of Bangalore. Bangalore is where I live, and I love this city, and I can't wait to read about it. And so once they move into the better part of Bangalore, they also realize that people and their natures are actually changing. Okay, so who they have allegiances with, and there are suddenly marriage alliances formed, and how their entire world changes around them just because of like suddenly having a different situation in finances is what the story is about. So this seems like a really small book. The size of it is just so much. And yeah, so there are two small books actually this time that I got. I Who Have Never Known Men is also pretty small. I think the entire number of pages is just 188. So usually the books that I read are at least like over 300, a minimum of 300 pages, but these seem like pretty small when compared to those. So yeah, let's move on to the last book. The last book is my absolute favorite. So this is my constant companion. This used to be my constant companion during my childhood. So this is The Clue in the Diary by Caroline Kane, and this is Nancy Drew. This is one of the Nancy Drew series. So as you know, I've been collecting a couple of my childhood favorites like Secret 7, Nancy Drew, Famous 5, and of course, I have Bimbo and Topsy too. So these are the things that I'd love to collect. So The Clue in the Diary, the synopsis kind of goes on like this. Okay, so there is a huge countryside mansion, and Nancy and her friends, so Nancy is an amateur detective. She and her friends, they witnessed that this building is now burning to a crisp. Okay, and now Nancy and her friends rush to save the people who are in the building. But she notices that there is a diary, and this diary has a lot of details that could actually be linked to a case or a mystery surrounding this building. And then they also notice that a stranger is fleeing this building. So other than that, I don't think they find anybody else, but now they are left with a diary to solve the mystery of this countryside mansion. As you know, Nancy Drew is one of the best ever series to read as a kid. I mean, this is for usually like people like, let's say, about 8 to 9 years old, and somewhere until like 13, or sometimes you can read it until you're 15, or sometimes if you're like me as an adult, you can still go ahead and read these books if you like middle grade books. And these are middle grade mysteries too. So yeah, I have a collection of Nancy Drew. I have a very small collection right now, but I want to collect more and more of these books, to create a nice library of my childhood favorites too. So with this, we're done with the video, and I'm done showing you my collection of books. So just to show you, finally, these are the books that I got. These are the ones here. And I know there's no space on my shelf to go up there right now, but I may have to find an alternative. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you like my video, please consider subscribing to my channel and also hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any updates on my video. I'm trying to be regular on my YouTube channel, and I'd love it if you please continue supporting me. So thank you so much for watching. Stay happy, stay blessed, and stay kind, and I'll see you next time. Bye.